All right, guys. We were talking the other day about obviously all this guru stuff, and it's intriguing. I thought it's important that everyone understand. I mean, we all get sucked into that stuff when you get started. But even on us, we've been doing this for. I mean, I've been in it for 25 years. You guys have been doing it for more than 15. In the effort of learning more and trying to stay ahead of the curve, we all go to that. And you guys went to, we're not going to mention any names, but you guys went to a big one. And I think it's important that, we share your experience and what you learned.
Yeah, a little while ago, we were in Las Vegas. We went to probably one of the biggest, well-known forums that you can go to in the real estate investing for entrepreneurs. I don't know. I think we spent about 25 grand to go to this, and we're in a room full of, I don't know, there's 1,000 people in there. What do you think, Brody? Was 1,000 or 800? I can't remember exactly.
There was 800 seats, but there was people standing up in the back. So there's somewhere between 800 and 1,000 people. That's what they said.
Man.
Yeah. So during this whole situation, they're talking, and we're sitting here thinking that there's a bunch of seasoned real estate investors in here. And that's why we were there. We just wanted to meet people and, try to network and expand our business. Well, little did we know that for how much ever you've spent, and who knows how much people have spent prior to going there to this forum and trying to figure out how to do this business. I don't know, at some point during the forum, they asked, what would they ask, Brody?
He said, how many people in here, now remember, we're in a room of 800 to 1,000 people that we think are seasoned real estate investors, or, at least most of them. And he says, how many people in here have done a real estate deal? And there was probably 20 people stood up, maybe 30, somewhere in there. Somewhere, I'll just say 25 people out of 1,000 people.
3%.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Then he says, how many people in here have done 1 to 5 real estate deals? And there was about 5 people that stood up, and we were, one of them. And then he says, how many people in here have done over 5 deals? And there was one couple that was middle-aged couple, and Mark and I. That was it, out of the room of 1,000 people.
They spent $25,000 plus dollars to go do this, and who knows how? Like I said, who knows how much people have spent prior to getting to this point? And it was mind-boggling to Brody and I that that's all the deals. People are spending that much money, and they're not learning how to get deals, or they're not being taught how to get deals. They're getting shown the dream. They're getting pitched the lifestyle of it, but nobody's really teaching them how to do it.
How to find deals.
Yeah.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. What did you guys learn there? How long was it? 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, it was like I think it was 3 days. And you'll learn, they'd have attorneys there and accountants there, and you learn like the general logistics of a functioning real estate business. I guess that's the best way to say it. But the thing is, you could know all that all day long, and you could be the smartest guy on the planet when it comes to that. But if you don't have a deal, you have zero. So what does it matter if you know that? It matters.
Mark, how do you teach someone how to rehab a freaking house anyway? Can you do it in the classroom?
Yeah, you don't do it in the classroom. I mean, so who's going to learn that? I mean, in the classroom, you got to physically get out and do it. You got to talk to people. You got to, they're not going to teach you that in the classroom.
No.
We all know some gurus. I've got a personal friend I've got 2 personal friends who are gurus, and they don't flip houses. They just travel, and it is a huge business to teach people the theory of flipping real estate.
Yep.
And
that's what it is. They're teaching the theory. They're not. Yeah.
So you guys went out there thinking, and I say you guys, I've been there too, but you go out there thinking you're going to learn some creative things you don't know, aside from the basics of where to find a house or how to buy a house, how to fix a house, how to sell a house. And most of those seminars are basically designed just to upsell you on something else.
It's
Right.
the whole thing is upselling. That's all that's for. You get enough people in there, you go volume people, and you sell a product for anywhere from, first of all, you pay to get there because you think you're going to get this mind-blowing,
Right.
It's not Tony Robbins. Let's just put it that way. I mean, that's a different kind of going there you're paying for to get something, get built up in life. I mean, but they're good about getting you excited, but they know what your excited buttons are. And then they just upsell you on all these things, and you end up spending another $10,000 while you're there, and you still don't know how to go home and get a deal.
Well, and here's a real funny thing. This really cracked me up. They wanted to sell us on personal coaches. Okay.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. So I acted like I was interested because I wanted to know who the coaches were. I was just curious.
Right.
So I went up to the first coach and I said, let me ask you a question. I said, if you're going to coach me and I'm going to spend this kind of money, how many houses do you own? And he kind of hem-hauls around the question, changes the subject really quick. And then I went back to it. I said, now I'm going to ask you again, and I want a straight answer. Well, he says, 10 years ago, I owned a couple of rentals. I'm like, seriously? So you're paying like these 5-figure numbers for a coach. They don't even own real estate. I'm like, this is insane.
They don't.
They say, we want to be your life coach. We want to keep you excited. We want to keep you motivated. I said,
yeah.
Motivate myself. How do I get deals? If I'm getting deals and I'm making money, I'm going to be motivated.
Yeah, money motivates me, buddy. That's how it is.
Man.
That's how it is. That's a whole. I hate to call it a scam, but I mean, it is.
Their success rate is really, really, really low.
Everybody thinks this is so. They make it sound so easy. Like I can wholesale deals, from my bedroom, 2 hours a day in my jammies. So number one, how do you find the deal? What are they teaching you to go find the deal? I had a guy, you know how we are. We kind of play along with people. Knock on doors. Go knock on doors to find a deal.
Yeah.
Well, you know why they say that? Because you don't have any money to market.
Yeah.
So you have no money. Okay, the money you have, you're going to pay me to teach you to go knock on doors to find a deal. 6 months later, when you don't have one and you quit, that's why everybody quits.
Well,
Right.
and then the only other thing they teach you, they teach you knock on door, and they teach you to hire a bird dog, which is essentially doing what? Knocking on doors.
On doors.
That's all they really teach you to do.
Because most people are putting every dollar they have available to them on a credit card to pay someone to teach you to go knock on doors.
That's exactly right.
How many deals have we done in the last year together?
Oh man,
I don't know, but
probably 100 deals if you had everything on.
Did any
Around
of them
there.
involve knocking on a blind door?
I've never knocked on a door yet in my life, and we've done over 900 and some deals, and we've never knocked on a door.
I mean, it just
here the knocking on door thing is fine, but basically that's bird dogs, like Mark said. But here's my question, Jason. I got a question for you. How many emails do you get a day from wholesalers, and how many of those deals work out?
wow. Wow. I would say I get 30, depends on the day, 30 to 50 wholesale emails a day, and I haven't bought one from any of them.
It's because they don't know what they're doing.
They don't. These gurus train them. Go out there, knock on a door, put something under contract, and it's this easy just to flip it to it. Guys like us. And then they figure out pretty quick that you've got, $100,000 house under contract for 120,
Yep.
and we need to buy it for 60 or 70.
Yep.
Yeah, might want to go back to the seller, buddy.
Right. Let me know when you get a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And after 100 emails, 100 days in a row, they kind of stop emailing you.
Right, and I get about the same amount. I probably get 20 to 30. So you get 30, I get 20 to 30.
I get about 10 or 15 a day. So.
Okay, well, let's just be
50.
conservative and say 50 a day between the three of us. and we never buy a deal from them.
No.
I mean,
Well-
and it's not, and I feel bad because they're doing a good job getting the leads, but they don't know what they're doing. Nobody's taught them what's a good lead, you know?
Well, yeah, no one's taught them how to evaluate a deal either.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't understand where we have to buy a house to make money. You know,
Right.
a lot of people, and I don't mind the Mayo formula that everybody uses as long as you use the right formula. You can't use, there's guys using 80%. You know, you can't use that number if the house needs a ton of work.
No, especially if it's a higher end house, then it throws the whole thing way off.
Yeah, it's because nobody adds in holding costs or closing costs or no utility
Commissions.
payments. Nobody adds that stuff in it.
No.
Let me ask you this: has anybody ever shown you the spreadsheets we use when we're evaluating deals? Have you ever seen that anywhere else?
Never have I
No.
seen. Nobody
And
has
the
them.
thing is, it's not hard to do. Like once you know the system and the formula that we do, you just go pop, 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 put the numbers in. It does everything for you. But at least you know the numbers are right.
Well, I can tell you this: the reason they don't have them is because they don't buy houses.
No.
Yeah,
They don't-
exactly.
It's easier just to say you need to buy it at 70 cents on the dollar than figure out what exactly goes into that sucker to make a profit.
Right. That's right.
So anyhow, in a nutshell, that's what you learn at these big, I will call them forums. I don't want to bash anybody.
That's probably a good word for it. Well, I think that's important because the unfortunate thing is that if you're just starting out, you don't know that's not.
No.
You
Yeah.
don't understand that's not where you're going to learn how to do it.
Yeah. I always tell everybody you could be the world's greatest real estate investor, but if you don't know how to market and get deals, you might as well just hang your hat up and go work at McDonald's because you're not going to do anything.
But about 3 or 4 years ago, I noticed it, and that's a great story because I moved when the market collapsed. I specifically moved to a certain town in Florida because they were building so fast back in 05, 06 that every other house was vacant. And so I moved to my town specifically because of that and had an unbelievable run from about 09 to about 14. In 14, I noticed it started to turn because it was getting harder to find deals. More and more people were starting to come into the market. Instead of finding, like when I first moved here, I would find a house that all I had to do was vacuum.
Yeah.
And then I'd sell it. And then it started to get harder and harder. And in 2016, I sold my last house in this town. And I haven't bought another one since because it's so competitive. And so that's why we moved to different areas. But you're going to have a guru tell you that this is the hottest market in my town ever.
Yeah.
Until you
And
get.
you'll think it's good. You'll think it's good. That's hilarious. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's good for you. Maybe it ain't good for me.
How many people tell you, man, you guys must be raking right now because the market is so hot?
That's what they all think. They don't realize it's actually the opposite for us. I mean,
Exactly.
we're doing good. We're getting deals. We're doing everything we're doing. But I mean, like you said, from 09 to 16 was our hottest time. I mean, that was like you know, if you had any marketing ability, you could do this business and make a whole lot of money doing it. And now, you know, you can still make the same amount of money. You just got to know how to market. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
It's not necessarily knocking on doors anymore.
Well, when was the last time you got, I mean, I know we occasionally get them off the MLS, but all the stuff we're doing, none of it came from the MLS. The new construction and the 27 houses, none of that was on the MLS.
That's all marketing. So everything we're buying, I mean, you're getting a couple here and there, but those are for deals that, you know, we're holding on to. So you're buying them a little differently.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, hopefully this video gets to a few people and they don't go spend 25 grand.
Like I said, that's just the minimum. We know people have spent close to 100 and still didn't do a deal.
I do too. I mean, they just keep upselling you then because it goes from, you know, sign up for my 1995 course. And really all that is they do recordings and they send it to you and you get to talk to them once a week or whatever.
Yep.
And then the next step is, okay, you know, whatever they call it, the VIP package or whatever, and that's 10 grand.
Yeah.
And then finally, when it's all said and done, they're charging 40, 50 grand. We'll come to your market. We'll set you up. And you got 60, 70, 80 grand wrapped up and no deals yet.
Nothing.
Right.
No deals.
And then you know what else? There's so many people who have done it, even the smaller, bigger packages, they don't have the staff to even take care of you. I
Right.
mean, literally, most people are pretty ticked off by the time about 2-3 months into that thing.
Well,
They spend all this money and they've got nothing to show for it.
if you spend if you spend $10,000, you know, I get the whole, they argue that, you know, this is your college education, but is it? If you're doing it in a boardroom, you're doing it in a hotel conference room, unless you're out, marching around looking at houses and lots and evaluating deals.
I take my $10,000 right now in 1 month. I take that $10,000 I put there and I can take what I do now, and in 1 month I'm gonna make $20,000-$30,000 with that $10,000.
Or
So,
more than that, probably. If
well,
you're
I'm just saying that's my worst case scenario. You know,
Right.
what I'm saying? You're
Because
gonna
you
make,
put it towards marketing.
right.
but they just don't tell you how to market. They just don't. I mean, they'll tell you go throw a bandit sign up or something like that.
Right.
But there's so many of them signs that people look at them, don't even blink an eye at them anymore.
Yeah, and I'll vouch. You probably don't want to do that in the wrong area. I speak from experience.
Brody about went to jail because we put too many bandit signs
Man,
down in one area.
That was bad, man.
Well, that's the problem, man. There's bandit signs. There's 4 or 5 of them on every corner. So who do you
Yeah.
call? I mean, I just don't understand how the best way to get leads is going direct. You know, going directly to the sellers and trying to figure out how to solve their problem. If you can solve their problem, now you got some deals. But
It's
all right,
all
we
about.
could probably talk for hours about this stuff.
Yeah. We'll let everybody go.
We better cut this short.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. I just wanted to get that out there.
No problem. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right.